And when I talk about making your break, making your next big thing, I'm never talking about being stuck where you are. I'm talking about, I know you've worked hard for whatever it is that you got, whatever job that you have, whatever relationship, connection, whatever it is. You worked hard to be there. I know that. And at some point, we have to say goodbye. And when we say goodbye, it's going to be one of the hardest things because you have to be true to you. You got to say goodbye because you want to say goodbye. It's on your terms. And you have to do it regardless of what other people think. Sure, maybe someone might think that I'm a failure because I gave away photography. Oh, do I care about what those people think? Absolutely not. Doesn't even cross my mind. That's a them problem, not a me problem. Testing 1, 2. You're listening to Jai Long, and this is Make Your Break. Welcome back to the show. This is the first episode I've actually recorded in 2026, and it's been for good reason. I've taken a bit of a rest, been going through some life changes. There's been some unforeseen circumstances and things that have happened. As you probably know, I did lose my dog, Pippi, not too long ago, and I do have a new dog right here with me. Hello, Bobby. If you're watching YouTube, you can see Bobby's sitting on my lap. He seems to just always be on my lap, but he came into my life. He's a rescue dog, and I was skeptical at first, but now I've fallen in love with another dog, and that's just the way it is. So today, I'm a little bit nervous because there's been so many things that have changed in my life, and I think it's sometimes hard to just show up on podcasts and social media, and especially continually showing up. I've been continually showing up on social media since 2013 when I sort of kicked off my business, and I would say like at least every single month since then I've been posting all the way up into this year. Often when we stop posting and we stop showing up online, we kind of beat ourselves up and it can feel like we're not making any kind of progression. But actually, I think taking a step back and having a look at what you're doing really allows you to see where you're going and what needs to change and be truthful with yourself, you know. I remember when I was an electrician back in 2012, it wasn't the career that I was born to do. It wasn't the thing that lit me up. It wasn't going to be my lifelong journey, you know, wiring houses. And I remember this one afternoon after work, I got home and I had this huge anxiety attack. And the anxiety attack felt like what I imagine a heart attack to feel like. I was crippled, I fell to my knees, I was laying in the fetal position and I just didn't know what happened. I ended up going to the doctors and they said, well, you actually just experienced a panic attack. And it's the first time in my life that I ever had that. And when that did happen to me, I knew I had to make a change in my life. And in particular for me, it was my career. Things had to change at that moment. So I changed my career. And even though I didn't know how to use a camera or anything like that, at the time I was very passionate about photography and art, and I'd play a lot of guitar and things like that. So I went all in on photography, and then the rest was history. You know, my career has been growing and building as I've been letting go of things, changing, evolving, as we all do. But there's a few things that we never really talk about. We talk about the beginning, especially I do on a podcast like this. It's like make your break. We're trying to search for that big break and how do we make that? But what happens when that thing that used to light you up comes to an end? What happens in the scary middle when you need a rest, when you need a reset, when you need to pivot, when you need to search for something new? When you look at your work and maybe you don't love it like you used to. Maybe you don't love the work that you used to. I remember when I was up and coming as an educator, I was at the back of a conference and I was speaking to one of my favorite speakers, educators, and he's been on the tour for a long time and he's always showing up and inspiring people. And I remember I was sitting there having a coffee with him and he just talked about how he was so burnt out of all the travel and all the talks that he would do and all the things. And it felt so disheartening for me because for me, that was my goal, was to live his life. I was like, what? How could you feel this way? You've got everything and you still feel this way. And it kind of opened my eyes up a little bit. It's no matter how much you've been chasing your dreams and the thing that you used to dream about, you're now in it. It's okay to fall out of love with that thing. It's okay to burn out. It's okay to let go. And I think this is a really important message for so many of us, because we build our identity on the thing that lights us up and the thing that brings other people joy and the thing that brings us joy. And sometimes that thing doesn't light us up like it used to. Sometimes we need to take a step back and look at and reevaluate our lives and see maybe what's the next step going to be. Is it going to be repeating the same thing that you've done in the past, or is it going to be something new, something fresh? So I want to talk about letting go. I think letting go is one of the hardest things to go through, and almost nobody talks about it. I don't know why, but we don't talk about it. And when I'm talking about letting go, I'm not just talking about big life changes, like maybe it's a big relationship shift that you've just gone through. Maybe it's a career that you built for so long and now you're going in and building a business. So you have to let go of that career and all the friends, all the accolades, all the things that came along with the job that you were in, that you worked so hard for. Maybe it's moving to a new city and you're letting go of all the friendships, all the connections, the network, the clients, the business, the reputation, the reviews, the testimonies. Maybe you have a big life change because you got a new dog. I don't know. That was hard for me, letting go of my last dog and then making space in my heart to allow in a new dog to sit on my lap like this. It could be a variety of things. It could even just literally be you changed your prices, and with that, you got a new client base. And maybe you miss your last client base. Now, one thing that I love so much that gives me a lot of clarity is two things can exist at the same time. You can miss and mourn and grieve the things that you lost, but you also can be excited for the future and the things that are to come. Both things can exist at the same time, and you don't need to feel guilty about being more into one or the other. Just because a relationship just finished doesn't mean you can't be excited maybe for your next relationship. Just because your career has ended, it doesn't mean you don't have to be, or you can't be nervous and excited about what is next. Of course, you're going to be sad about the things that are no longer there, because it takes so long for us to build the thing that we once dreamt of, to be able to stand in the room that we once built. But stepping out of that room and into a new room, it can be exciting. It can be fun. It can be adventurous. It can be so many things. But don't downplay what you're leaving behind, because I just think this is what people don't talk about. For me, in 2019, at the height of my photography career, I was living the dream according to myself in 2013. I remember setting out some goals and saying, imagine if I could shoot weddings all over the world. Imagine if I got paid to do that. Imagine if I had some fashion brands that paid me, some big brands that paid me to do some campaigns. Imagine if I was featured in magazines. Imagine if I was speaking on at conferences, at workshops. Imagine if people valued my opinion, my thoughts, my art, my creativity, so much so that they flew me across the world to do that. Imagine. And in 2019, at the height of my career, I was making really good money, making really good decisions, photographing really amazing clients, and I had way too much work than I could ever handle. I won the awards. I was speaking at conferences. I had sold out workshops. Everything that I imagined, it actually came true tenfold. And then in 2020, when I decided to go full time into coaching, into education, I had to let go of that identity that I built for so long. All the long nights, all the pain, all the suffering, all my peers, everything. And it hurts, I won't say that it won't hurt. I remember I was speaking at a conference or workshop actually in Vietnam, and there was a couple of photographers there that are really well known. And they started talking about photography and decided to exclude me from the conversation. And they said they did that because I'm not a photographer anymore. And it actually hurt, because half true, I'm not a photographer anymore, although I do take photos. I don't have paying clients anymore. But it's like you work so hard and then you have to let go of what was. And it's never easy, because a part of you might feel judged by others. Maybe you feel like you failed in some way. Maybe you feel like you should be more grateful for what you have. You feel like you work so hard to be there, now you should be enjoying the thing that you have. Be thankful for all the things that got you there. And all that is to be true. But remember, two things can exist at the same time. So you can also grieve all the things that you worked so hard for, but it's no longer here. The awards that you won, that's now meaningless. The connections that you made that now don't call you. The relationships that you had that just fell away. Because for something to begin, something else has to end. It's one of the most important things. And when I talk about making your break, making your next big thing, I'm never talking about being stuck where you are. I'm talking about, I know you've worked hard for whatever it is that you got, whatever job that you have, whatever relationship, connection, whatever it is. You worked hard to be there. I know that. And at some point, we have to say goodbye. And when we say goodbye, it's going to be one of the hardest things, because you have to be true to you. You got to say goodbye because you want to say goodbye. It's on your terms. And you have to do it regardless of what other people think. Sure, maybe someone might think that I'm a failure because I gave away photography. Oh, do I care about what those people think? Absolutely not. Doesn't even cross my mind. That's a them problem, not a me problem. So I want you to go back and really think about what lights you up right now. What does your future look like? What sacrifices do you have to make to get yourself there? What do you have to say no to? Or what needs to end? Because for that new version of yourself, something needs to end. It has to be something. There's not enough space for that new person to exist. Because if there was, it would exist. It simply cannot. So something is taking up your time, your mental energy, whatever it is. Now, it could be a mindset thing. An example of letting go is sometimes we need to let go of the idea of perfectionism, for example. I think a lot of things that we need to let go evolves around our insecurities and our ego. I believe that we overestimate our worth, our value, our presence in the world. So much so that our ego inflates and we believe we are the center of the universe. But if two things can be true, you got to understand that you are so insignificant in this world. Just a blip. So small. Almost meaningless in the time span of the universe. But at the same time, you are so powerful. You mean so much to so many people. You can change lives. You can chase dreams. And once you realize that those two things can exist at the same time, it allows you to fade away your ego. Because you know at the same time that I can count my blessings right now because things are going good. And it won't always be this way. And at the same time, things might not also work out. And that's okay. So letting go of like perfectionism is, in my opinion, when I look at those type of things, we hold ourselves back. It's because we are so strung up on other people's opinions, probably even our own opinion about ourselves, to be honest. Other people's opinions on what we are doing, and we don't want to fall short. But what's really interesting, as an artist, as a creative, as an entrepreneur, I remember Jack White once saying this on an interview. Jack White is the lead singer of what was that band called? Recateurs and the White Stripes, and he also does solo stuff. I idolize that guy like there's no tomorrow. He's a big influence. I remember him talking about how when he releases his music, it's no longer whatever he thought the music was because it's finished off by the audience. they're the ones that take it and change the meaning, actually give it meaning. So they're the ones that create something with that music. It's not him. And he talks about this with the song, the Seven Salvation Army, I think it's called. I think it's a song that's like, it's gone viral with like soccer and football and all that kind of stuff, like real sports anthem. And I remember this interview, the guy interviewing asked him like, did you like purposely write a song that was going to be played at every single soccer match or every single football game, every single sports event? And he said, no, it was a surprise, but it's not up to me. I made the music, it's no longer mine. It's the people's music. And they get to pick and choose and create whatever they want around that music. When I look at that, I think about like perfectionism. We're trying to like control people's perception of our art, of the thing that we create. But really, it's not up to us. We create it and then it's no longer, you create it and it's no longer yours. It's now out there in the world, in the universe, and it's going to take on its own life. No matter how perfect you make something, someone's going to critique it. They're going to criticize it. That's guaranteed. I know that for sure. No matter how good you think it's going to get, someone can always do better. You can always do better. But the only way that we can do better is by letting go of that ego and trying to control what other people think of the work that we create or the way that we live our lives. Because once we let go of that, man, life just becomes a playground. Like life becomes so fun and meaningful. It's just about experiences. Everything that I've done in my career that's got me forward and propelled me to where I am today has been a lot of little unperfect projects. A lot that have failed, a lot that I've put out before it was ready. I've sold products before they're ready. I've pre-sold things, I've launched things, I've told people about things. Sometimes those things didn't even come to fruition. Sometimes people hated them, sometimes I gave refunds. Man, but the thing is, I'm the only one that's trying to impress me, and the way that I impress myself is I'm proud of myself for putting something out there, because I know 99% of people are going to hold themselves back because of the perception of other people on them. We overestimate how much people think about us. Do we really need to put that much weight on ourselves? I don't think so. I think we need to free ourselves, free our imagination, our creativity, our artistry, our businesses from the shackles of other people. Because if we can create without those limits, without worrying if it's perfect or not, it means we can create at volume. We can put something out there, see how people react, see where it goes, what kind of life it gets, see what we don't like about it, do it again. Put it out there, see if it goes viral, see if it doesn't go viral, see if people like it, people buy it. Do it again. Rinse and repeat. And then when you put it out, sometimes you are working and you're not inspired, you're not motivated, and you're just creating this thing, you know? Maybe you're writing a book or something, you're creating something, and then you're like, okay, well, is it perfect? Maybe not. Will the next one be better? Absolutely. It's going to be better. You know, and that's the way I always communicate the stuff that I'm doing as well. When I put something out there, maybe I don't believe it's 100%, not the most perfect thing I could ever create. I am creating the most perfect thing that I can with the tools, with the mindset and the knowledge that I have, the resources that I have right now. But that doesn't mean this is the perfect thing, and it doesn't mean it's the best thing that I can ever do, because the next thing I'm going to get slightly better. I'm going to learn a little bit more. I'm going to have a little bit more education, more confidence, more clarity. Does that make sense? So if you're beating yourself up with this perfectionism, holding ourselves back, the first thing that we need to let go and even grieve is our ego. If we can let go of that, it means that you can create with no strings attached. It doesn't matter what people think of you. It matters what you think of you. And I know, like when I show up like this and I'm talking on a podcast or I'm on video, like I hate showing up on video, man. I really do. So much so. It's probably the reason why I haven't posted on social media this year or haven't been doing my podcast, because everyone keeps telling me, if you're doing a podcast, you're doing video today in 2026. And I understand what you got to do. I just hate doing it. I hate showing up. And then I think about it. I'm like, why do I hate that so much? I'm stopping all my growth because I'm not showing up perfectly. Like, what is this? Why do I care so much? And then I've got to come to that realization, and I've got to grieve the old Jai that was scared of doing that. And even though I'm not perfect on camera or on the podcast, doing videos, speaking, whatever it is, I'm proud of myself that I woke up and I did it. Letting go. I can be ashamed of the work that I create because I feel like it doesn't hit a standard, and I can be proud of myself for creating it. Two things can exist at the same time, because I'm the one that showed up and posted it even when it wasn't perfect. I did that. I am proud of myself for doing that. Now I've got a benchmark, because I look at my work and I say, whoa, tomorrow's going to be better. And the day after is going to be better. I'm going to create a video today. I'm going to post it. Even if it's not perfect, man. Color grading doesn't look good. The way that I speak doesn't look good. The lighting's not perfect. Whatever. Do it again tomorrow. Show up again. And if you can work this way, man, you're going to make strides. You're going to move towards those unrealistic goals so fast, because a person that's not held back by other people's opinions is unstoppable. There's nothing else that can stop you. You will have no other fear. The fear comes down to opinions of people that you don't really even care about anyway. The only opinion that you need to care about is you. And if you're not chasing your unrealistic goal, that should be the thing that disappoints you. Not that your video wasn't perfect, your photos are not perfect, your book is not perfect, your script is not perfect, your music's not perfect. That's got nothing to do with it, man. It's all part of the journey. If it was perfect, this is the right mindset to have. If it was perfect, it would be the end. You're at the top. You're finished. There's no more growth. It's already perfect. Are you there? I highly doubt it. Right now, you're in the middle of your book. You're in the very center, creating stories, creating adventures, looking for experiences, getting that clarity, getting that confidence back, letting go of those weights that have been holding you down for so long. The eyes that are watching you, that maybe they're going to give you some hate on social media. Good, let them give you some hate. They're giving you something. I love it when someone gives me some hate on social media. I'm like, man, you're giving me attention. I don't even know who you are. You're giving me attention. That's amazing. Thank you. I'm so magnetic. I'm not just pulling the supportive people. I'm also pulling the haters. That's cool, man. I'm pulling everybody. I'm trying to get myself out there so I can start attracting the right people, so I can help those that I need to help. It's not going to be perfect. Absolutely not. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and I'm going to do it publicly. I'm going to get a lot of hate. Absolutely. It's nothing to do with me. That is for the people. Your art gets perceived by them differently by every single person, and then the right people are going to come out and they're going to show their support. I know when I first started doing videos on Instagram, it was probably like 2017. Whenever IGTV came out, or the first videos on Instagram, I remember I was posting them straight away. And all my friends that are millennials, man, I got a lot of hate because people were like, oh, isn't that embarrassing? It's so embarrassing that you show up and you talk to your camera. Like, so weird, A lot of people probably can't relate to that now because it's just second nature to everybody. But for me, I'm like, yeah, it is actually really embarrassing. Absolutely. Yeah, it is like, and people do hate it, of course. Yeah, it's uncomfortable to do. Yeah. And they're like, well, why do you do it? Well, I just feel like if I held myself back because it's uncomfortable, I'm just heading in the wrong direction. I feel like if I didn't do it because of your opinion, I'm heading in the wrong direction. I feel like it's really scary, so I feel like I'm doing the right thing. I'm heading in the right direction. I feel like I'm doing it for me. Regardless of people's opinions, I'm heading in the right direction. And we can apply this to any part of our business. The things that you're letting go, I know you're hanging on to something right now because you're scared of what other people will think when you let go of the thing. When you let go of the career, the business move, you let go of that client. When you let go of that relationship, the connection, the network, when you let go, what's holding you stuck is just you worried about other people's opinions. It's not your own opinion, because if you're being truthful to yourself, you would let it go. And that doesn't mean it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be hard. Two things can exist at the same time. You need to be able to grieve the thing that you need to let go right now, and you can be excited about what's to come to fill that space. Because that space, that's your future self. That's the person that shows up and says, thank you, Jai, for making that hard decision when you did, for letting go the things that you had to let go for me to now exist. You've been listening to Jai Long. This is Make Your Break. Hey, if you like today's episode, please share it with a friend. The more that I get downloads on this podcast, you know what? The more I can grow the podcast and get on some amazing interviews and share some really cool stuff. So you help me out, I help you out, and I really appreciate it. If you want to share it on Instagram, my Instagram is @jailong.co. And if you want to slide into my DMs and say hello, I would love that. See you soon.